Welcome to this lesson on the properties of definite integrals. Today, we are focusing on a very specific and fundamental property: why the definite integral of any function is zero when the upper and lower bounds are the same. First, let's quickly recap what a definite integral represents. It calculates the net accumulation of a quantity, often visualized as the area under a curve, between a starting point, A, and an ending point, B. Geometrically, you can think of the integral as summing up area. The total width of the region we are measuring is determined by the difference between the upper bound and the lower bound. In a standard integral, the width is b minus a. Now, what happens if our starting point and ending point are exactly the same? If b equals a, then the width of our interval becomes a minus a, which equals 0. We are no longer looking at a range, but a single point. Visually, this is intuitive. Imagine a rectangle representing the area. It might have a height determined by the function at point A, but its width is 0. Since area equals height multiplied by width, anything multiplied by 0 is 0. A line segment has no area. We can also prove this using the Fundamental Theorem of Calculus. The theorem states that the integral from a to b is the antiderivative at b minus the antiderivative at a. If both bounds are a, we simply subtract the value from itself, which always results in 0. This rule holds true regardless of the function. Whether it is x squared, an exponential function, or a trigonometric function like sine of x, if the numbers at the top and bottom of the integral symbol are identical, the answer is immediately 0. With no calculation required. To summarize, when the interval of integration has 0 width, there is no area accumulation. This property is valid for any function defined at that point. Simply put, the integral from a to a is always 0.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.